I'm David G.
I'm Cooper.
And I am your lovely guest, OMZ Eternal, on the beat.
Yeah.
If you look for the good moments
And learn from the bad.
you're in the right place. It's the Living Learn podcast. All right, so today we have a very special guest, Omar, otherwise known as OMZ Eternal. Always cooking it up in the studio. Our favorite producer today.
Oh, stop. Appreciate y'all.
Of course. Yeah. So today, since we have a bit of a musician in here, a music master himself, we're going to be talking about independent music and just like working on trying to grow yourself and progress in like a very saturated field.
Okay.
But yeah, anyways, how would you like to be referred to? As OMZ or as Omar?
Either or, it doesn't matter. OMZ is cool.
I like OMZ.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
we can rock on OMZ.
Okay. All right, so OMZ, you wanna tell us a little bit about yourself?
All right, hip-hop producer coming straight from Northern Virginia,
Right on.
also known as the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia, that area. Started making beats since senior year of high school, around like 2011, 2012. Started off on FL Studio. Then I moved on to Logic. And then eventually I moved from Northern Virginia to New York for a couple years to pursue my career out there. And I met, some pretty cool artists and producers that I networked with out there. And here I am now in Minneapolis,
Yeah, so
where it's cold.
Yeah.
very cold. Why Minnesota? Why did you decide to stop here?
So in the middle of, chasing the whole music scene in New York, the pandemic hit, and I felt like everything in the scenery was just at a standstill, and I didn't know, when the hell the city was going to open back up. So I have family living out here, and I just decided to come, pursue job opportunities out here.
So is it harder to kind of get yourself out there during the pandemic? As far as like, promoting your music, working with other people?
Not necessarily, because there's people that I keep in touch with that are still doing that.
Yeah.
That started to do that during the time of the pandemic. And these people feel like it's easier to network and,
Really
do things
easier? How's it easier?
because there's less activity, and now it's easier to network, and it's easier to just work and keep shooting videos and travel out of state and I don't know, kind of just take over the city.
Okay.
According to these people. Don't quote me on this.
So like you kind of mean that the competition is like getting like spread thin. Only the strong are out here surviving.
Pretty much,
like-
yeah. The weak are getting weaved out.
Okay, I see what you mean there.
Yeah. that
Okay,
kinda deal.
I hear you. Then you wanna tell us a bit about what type of music you produce? Like, what is your sound?
Yeah, I don't really want to put a category on it, but
Uh-huh.
I grew up listening to like underground hip hop from the 90s, like Nas, Jay-Z from back in the day, Wu-Tang.
Those are like your inspirations?
Yeah, those are my inspirations, and even like West Coast artists, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Warren G. That 90s golden era sound is like what I gravitate towards mostly. But I still am a fan of relevant artists from today. I love Kendrick Lamar. I don't know if you want to call Pusha T relevant from today, but I love Pusha T.
I would not call it relevant.
Yeah, he's been around for a minute, but he's still dropping stuff now.
He is.
Pusha T, Ace. I like the whole ASAP mob. So I just try to merge some of the new sounds and blend them with the traditional '90s boom bap sound.
And just kind of create your own style.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I can dig it. Yeah. Okay. So then you're trying to put together bit of the old school stuff that you admire. You know, bring it to the forefront. Modern era, switch it up a little bit, make it your own.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
And I love to work with samples and classic, like Jackson 5 records from the 60s and 70s, and I like to modernize, chop the samples, rearrange them, and kind of modernize them to my own style. So.
Well, how did you develop that sound? Is it like kind of something just based off of like the music that you used to listen to? Did you have like someone like coming up that like kind of like showed you like their style? Like how do we come upon the OMZ of today?
Pretty much like I said from the jump, just being a fan of 90s hip hop. My older brothers had a strong influence on me. They would always play, like I said, Nas, Jay, Wu-Tang, all that kind of stuff when I was a kid. And I just soaked it all up, you know. And like I said, try to stay relevant with some of the new stuff from today, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how do you manage that? Because I do listen to like quite a bit of your stuff, and I like just like you said, I do like get brought back to like the very like reminiscent like '90s like boom bap like New York sound. Like, do you find that like kind of hard to in like today's like modern music where you have like different sounds? Like I know from one person, I know you especially don't like Playboy Cardi, for example. Our like little Uzis. We're like kind of like jumping into this like hyper pop era.
Yeah.
And the platform's kind of changing a little bit. Like, how do you?
I feel like the music is there's just so much music out there, and it's just such a big open market of so many different, little genres here and there. Of hip hop, and there's a melting pot of all kind of sounds coming in and different styles. So I just feel like it's a free market for anyone to create what they want. And of course, you have music that sells and that's more trendy than others, and music that's more underground. I guess I just try to listen to both the underground and some of the trendy stuff. I'm not a fan of all of it.
Yeah.
Like Little Uzi, Little Durk, like it's hard for me to listen to that kind of stuff, but I respect
You're not fucking with Durk?
I'm just not into like auto-tune singing, man. That's just me personally. I respect these rappers and their hustle and all that.
Bro, like the auto-tune's been a thing since like bro, who's the first person to use auto-tune? T-Pain. Since T-Pain, bro. T-Pain been using auto-tune since like what? 2010, maybe earlier. Like I can't remember when exactly T-Pain dropped, but like that's been like the rage for like however long. Bro, like Future out here, like the king, like auto. Actually, no, that's not true. Travis Scott, the king of auto-tune right now, like. That's like the whole sound right now.
I'm just not a fan of the sound, man. It's not authentic. It's not a real, expression coming from their own voice. It's modified. So I'd rather hear a singer that can really sing instead of... Because it's easy to sing on auto-tune. You can sound like straight garbage and have your engineer tweak it up to where it sounds nice and clean and good.
Okay, but
so
like
I feel like it's cheating.
That's the thing, though. That's the thing, though. But like... For those people that can't sing or can't don't sound good like on the mic, and they throw like auto-tune on it, it's like taking like a C- to a C+. It's like you went up like 2 grades, but you're still like not good. But like someone who's actually good and like sounds good, and I like to use this example again, T-Pain, even like Chris Brown. Like they'll go from like a B to an A+. Like I feel like when you're like you have a good sound and like know what you're doing vocally, it can take like a normal talent. It just like throws like extra sauce on like an already good talent.
Yeah, if you're already good, I can agree with that. But if you're not good and you can't sing and you throw auto-tune, what are you gonna do when it's time to perform? You know what I mean? Then your true fans you're exposing yourself to your true fans, which you really sound like without the auto-tune. And it just doesn't work out, in my opinion. That's just me, though.
I hear you.
Yeah.
But I feel like for some of these
You want to get a little bit closer?
for some of these people, like, you say you respect their hustle and like they're hustling, they want to get famous and do this stuff. And autotune is maybe their only way to sound good. Because if they sound like trash, if they don't use autotune, they're never gonna be able to, or they're never gonna their song's not gonna sound good anyways.
Yeah, it's a big boost for them.
Well, I don't know. Like, the thing is, like, I heard like Kali Uchis. I'm not sure if either of you know who that is.
No,
But like just like R&B Latin singer, said that like only like people who are like meant to make it in music will make it in music. Like, if you don't sound good, if you don't work on your craft, like those like C tier people that I mentioned earlier, they don't go anywhere ever. Like, even like I'll make an example of like Blueface. Like
Okay.
Blueface like uses autotune occasionally. Blueface is not a good rapper, and everyone knows Blueface isn't a good rapper. He literally hasn't had a hit since like Tatiana, and like you know like if it's not meant to be, it's not gonna happen.
Oh, maybe that's the game plan, is the one hit wonder and then
Coast after that.
cash out and start your own like brand or something. Because I feel like, who's that rapper? It's like NLE Choppa.
Uh-huh.
He's got like his own like health food brand or
Does he?
something, and it's like,
I don't. You're probably not wrong about that because I know he was on that like weird like health thing like for the longest time. He was like like meditating and like talking about like chakras and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So I don't doubt that.
so I don't know. Maybe that's like part of the game plan, is just get enough followers, get enough like viewers, or get that one hit wonder, and then just ride out something else, like start your own brand or
Yeah.
of clothing, or in
Well,
Choppa's case,
I
the
feel
health
like
food.
even like in the case of like music in general, like if you like look at like the big shots. I feel like that's the point. You should only like use like music as like a stepping stone to like get yourself into a different league. Like I feel like the big example of this, the biggest examples of this are Kanye and Jay-Z. Jay-Z owns like Jay-Z literally used to own a fucking
Rockefeller clothing line.
yeah, not Rockefeller because he still owns that, but
Okay.
it's a streaming service. I'm trying to remember what it was called.
Oh, Tidal.
Tidal, yeah. He sold Tidal for like I don't know how many millions of dollars. Like he did that. He owns like multiple champagnes. I know like the like the super huge bottles of champagne that have like sparklers on them that you like see in like movies and clubs that also exist in real life. Those are his. He owns that. So every time you like go to the club and you spend fucking $700 on a bottle of champagne, you're paying Jay-Z. That money's going into his
I'll
pocket.
gladly pay Jay-Z.
Yeah, I mean, once you build your music name, your profile big enough to where you can start stepping out and doing other things, I mean, that's a good start.
Of course, man. I feel like it's just I feel like long term you're killing yourself if you stay in like music for too long. Like, well, not like staying in music, but like doing only music.
Right.
Like you gotta like graduate eventually.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
especially with the streaming services, like it doesn't seem like there's
Yeah,
really
bro.
much money to be made with
Make
that.
like $20 off of your like 17 million streams.
Yeah.
That's really how much.
So you got to have your own
It's
merch.
not a lot.
You got to have other means of income too. You got to sell your merch and
The shows are a big
Tap
source
into
of
other
income
things.
too, right?
Yeah, man,
shows. Yeah.
like majority like money is like it's shows and merchandise, just like you said. Because like like another example, Travis Scott. Like you remember when he did his like collab with McDonald's?
I
Like,
don't.
Really? You don't remember? You don't remember the Travis
Travis Scott
Scott meal?
No.
You don't remember that?
What is that?
It was like a meal at like McDonald's that he had. He was like what was it? It was a fucking quarter pounder with bacon, barbecue sauce, and like fries. I think that was it.
And he put a stamp on that.
Yeah, bro. And like he did a collab with McDonald's. He had like an entire merchandise line with like he was like selling like an extra large fucking chicken McNugget plushie. He like just random stuff. He also had like his rodeo action figure, like from the album cover. You know the one, right?
Okay. I don't keep up with Travis Scott. I couldn't tell you.
Oh my god,
Neither do I. This is news to me.
terrible.
I'm like Batman in the mansion with new
Right,
music.
right. Man, okay. Well, speaking of like, relevancy, like maintaining like, your like money, like staying relevant. How are you fighting for your space in this like super oversaturated industry?
I just know what works for me. I feel like every time I drop a single, it's just timeless, and it speaks for itself. And obviously, there's gonna be some haters, people that don't like it, and there's gonna be the opposite, people that love it and gravitate towards it. So I'm just putting out
Yeah.
new music constantly, and just trying to find my fan base by who gravitates towards it. But I'm still following like a lot of friends from high school and just a bunch of random people that aren't necessarily my audience yet. So
Yeah.
it's still growing. I'm still trying to market myself and promote myself to really find a stronger audience and let it grow more. But yeah, I just know that my music is timeless, and when I drop it, I'm dropping nothing but classics.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's what works for me. I don't really have to like scramble and try to, compete with other people. And
Hopping on new trends.
yeah, I feel like I'm in my own lane,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
and there's enough space and flow for me to do my own thing, and it doesn't really feel like much of a competition because my style is so different from a lot of trendy music from today.
Yeah.
So I'm in my own lane. I do my own thing, and whoever gravitates towards that will support me and push me even more. So I guess that's my answer.
I hear you. Yeah, man. I mean, like, it's staying true to yourself. Like at the end of the day, like you said, like I really do feel like you maintain a very like unique sound right now. As far as like maintaining like a classic like New York sound is like like what I always like immediately like go back to, and like really the only people that like are doing like high level like chopping are like your producers like The Alchemist, or
I love Alchemist.
he's amazing, bro. Like I love the stuff he does with Griselda.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Those boys are crazy.
yeah.
But that's probably the best example I can like make right now. I know like Hit Boy does a lot of like really nice chops as well, but there's not a lot of people in that space. It's like make like really good stuff.
And
Have
that's why I feel
samples.
like it's easy to stand out.
Facts, I hear you. Yeah. Okay, then what made you realize that you got to see this through? Like as far as music goes, because like I guess this goes back to into like the oversaturatedness. Like a lot of people can't maintain themselves in this industry for a prolonged period of time. It's kind of like you'll like play around a little bit, try to do something, make your own little like buzz in the city, but a lot of people don't see success. Like so yeah, like how are you doing it?
I guess just living in New York and being around just an environment of hustlers. New York is all about the hustle because to maintain that lifestyle is so expensive, and you need to constantly be trying to like get your money up, to survive.
So it was literally like the will to survive.
Yeah, the will to survive and even thrive, and just being in, like I said, being in that environment with nothing but hustlers, compared to where I was in Virginia. People weren't really doing it that strong, like as they were in New York. So New York is like the mecca of hip hop. New York, Atlanta, L.A.
Exactly.
What's your question?
Oh no, well, my question was just like when you knew this was it, like you had to see it through.
Yeah, so being around these guys and just seeing their longevity,
Yeah.
and how they had their discipline in the studio, recording every day, constantly dropping tapes, networking, traveling to different cities, meeting other big time people. I seen eventually, like over time, all that hard work paid off, and like my homeboy Mussolini, shout out to Mussolini. He just completed an album with Ninth Wonder. He's pretty much the one I came
word?
up with. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, shit's really moving, bubbling
Okay.
behind the scenes.
Uh,
And then so I just applied what he did.
well, okay. Can I pause real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I thought you weren't like the tightest with the Mussolini right now, and for like what fuck? How should I bring this up?
Yeah.
Cooper, for you who doesn't know, the Mussolini is a rapper in New York that OMZ used to work
Yeah.
with a lot.
Yeah.
Anyways, continue on.
You said you thought I wasn't the tightest with him?
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we had our differences. I don't really want to speak too much about it.
Yeah. Sure.
Live on
like
camera.
whatever like you feel comfortable with.
Yeah, we had our differences. That's all I want to say. We just have our differences.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like the new guy coming to the scene. He already had like his whole team of in-house producers and other
Yeah.
artists and his whole, crew that he fucks with. And I'm the new guy coming in, and I don't know. I just feel like that same level of mutual honor wasn't quite there.
Uh huh.
And
But like nonetheless, like you still like look up to him. He's a person that you're like continuing to like watch and like grow. Just like you said, he's like working with the Ninth Wonder, like, and that's like major crazy considering like the amount of like hits that he's produced.
yeah.
So like that's wild, man. Good for
Yeah, I
him.
mean, me and Mussolini got our differences. Hopefully, one day we can put it all aside and keep working.
Of course.
And we can get paid for our music. Keyword paid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. We can go into that. How do we deal with being taken seriously in the industry? Because like like definitely on the come up. Like we see it like more often than not. Like a lot of producers trying to like give away like beats for free, or like people are only asking for free beats because oh hey man, like put me on, bro. If I can like do something, I'll hit you back later. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, eventually, it didn't faze me. When I was in high school, and my early years after high school, that's all I was doing, giving out free beats, trying to get my name heard, and trying to get some more exposure through other artists by just giving away my beats. But over time, I realized, what am I doing? I'm just giving away my beats. I'm supposed to be getting paid for this. The whole point of the music business is to monetize, to make money.
Of course.
And
Hence business.
I feel like a lot of people just fall into that trap of just giving their art away for free just to have a name for themselves. But over time, I just took a step back, and I realized that's not how I want to keep working. It was cool at first, to hand out my beats, pass them out for free, and
then people started expecting it, right?
yeah, it's just like a never
Never-ending cycle.
ending thing that they're gonna keep expecting. So I had to just cut that string eventually and just move on and do my own thing and be in my own lane. No disrespect to anybody, but I want to make money. I want to get paid for my work.
I mean, like you have to like realize your own self-worth, like because you're like working on these like things that these like beats, like these productions that like take you time to do, and like these are like pieces of art that you worked
Yeah,
on.
dude, it's your intellectual property.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
there.
exactly.
Yeah, I'm putting
There's
everything,
the
my
term.
blood, sweat, and tears into that. And to just be giving it, and that's all I was doing at first.
Yeah.
Mussolini, I was just giving him all my beats. I was only giving him my beats at one point in time, and a lot of them he didn't use. A lot of them he just kind of brushed past by. Some of them he did use on the mixtape MSG1. Like 75% of the beats were produced by me, and I did a few other singles on his other two albums.
Yeah.
Produced a couple other tracks on his next few albums after MSG1. But I feel like I already I already had leverage with that connection.
Yeah.
And utilized it to my advantage at that point. And I already got the exposure that I was looking for. But just to keep doing that, just keep giving my music away for free, and just ride out this wave of success
Yeah.
forever. It just didn't make sense to me. I feel like if you're getting paid off your work, then I should be getting paid off mine as well. So eventually I just had to
So,
stay in
do
my
you think
own
it was
lane.
like worth it in the long run, or like do you regret it?
I think it was still worth it. It's still a learning experience. Like I said, Mussolini is a great hustler. I respect his hustle. He taught me how to hustle, and I'm applying that out here.
Fire.
So I definitely do think it was worth it. I learned from my mistakes. I learned my lessons, and it's all about not repeating those same mistakes.
Of course. Okay. Hitting on intellectual property that Cooper mentioned. I've been peeping your IG, and it looks like you signing papers these days. Getting contract work done for beats. You want to talk about that a bit?
Sure. Yeah. So I met this engineer in St. Paul, Minnesota, and he has a studio out there, basement studio, and he also owns his own label. It's a small-time label, and luckily, he decided he does contracts as well, and he decided to write me one up. And I'm still trying to practice, the whole professionalism about going about presenting contracts to people. I still need practice with it, because people automatically become scared when you mention a contract, and
Yeah, they're like sign here, read the fine print.
they get scared, and I don't know, it kind of pisses some people off and pushes some people away from my experience. But I just have it, just.
Well, okay, that brings me to a term I like. Something I heard on Instagram, which was like a TikTok that was on Instagram, but it was a really nice quote, which was it's not too expensive, it's just out of your what is it, out of your pay range, what is it, like it's out of your what is the saying?
I didn't see this TikTok.
I know, but like it's like it's out of your price range. It's
Right.
not too expensive. It's just out of your price range, and I feel like that's like very much so the mindset of like a lot of these like low level like rappers right now, because like I'm sure like you experience this a lot. Like anytime like you try to like mention a beat that costs more than like $60, it's like, ooh, don't know if I can do that one, chief. Like cut me something lower, but like
Dude,
it's
if you're
just like
like if your goal is to like be like
Uh-huh.
super famous, like millionaire artists, $60 is nothing for a beat.
Exactly.
What?
I mean, dude, like there's a lot of like grimy people out there, like and like that's the thing. Like this is your intellectual property. Like you put like time, effort, like the skills that like you ascertained, the plugins that you like had to like buy or like whatever it might be, the instruments you use. Like that all accounts to the like end price, and like that's why like like our like big time producers, I'll say like Hit Boy again, he can like literally charge like $50,000 plus for a beat, for just one beat, because he's that good.
Yeah. Yeah. You're no matter how much you charge, it should definitely be a reflection of the hard work you've been putting in,
100%.
the expenses that you had to pay, for your equipment, all the moves you've been making in the past. So the price range should definitely, reflect that.
Of course. I mean, dude, that's why like another producer friend of ours, Rich Garvey, man, that dude's out here selling like beats for like 400 plus to like dudes in fucking Sweden. Like, it's just progression over time. So like, good on him. He's like on his way.
Shout out to Rich Garvey.
Shout out to Rich Garvey. But yeah, man, it's just like you have to like know your own self-worth in this game.
Right.
And
Because if you don't, people will just
take advantage of you.
walk all over you. Exactly.
Exactly. Okay. Fuck.
And it's a cutthroat industry.
Yeah.
Very. I mean, like rap specifically, because it is like so oversaturated. Like everyone and their fucking mom thinks like they can be a rapper. Like hop on a beat and, you know, I'm gonna be like viral by next week.
Right.
And like it's wild because like I'm not sure if you like saw this, either of you guys saw this, but there was this guy in the news recently who was like a Subway employee, and his like he has a very like specific thing of blowing up at his jobs. He will like basically record himself having like a meltdown. So like in this video, he was in his Subway, and he was like taking out all the ingredients and like tossing them onto the ground, and like just like you know just like throwing stuff on the ground, just like making a scene. Um, and like the basically like cloud chasing. And like he was saying like oh blah blah blah, I'm not with that cloud chasing shit, but like you know you're literally cloud chasing. And like while like going through this like entire like tirade, he's like you know man, this is just like a shout out to Meek Mill, you know like sign me to Dream Chasers, you know blah 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 blah, you know like it's literally like this dude is out here like making
Contradicting himself.
exactly he's making a mockery of himself. You
Who's
know?
this guy?
It's just like I don't even know who he is, dude. Like I saw it in the news a while ago. It's just like this dude working at a Subway, recording himself, making a mess, throwing sandwiches around, saying, "Hey, Meek Mill, sign me to Dream Chasers, man. I'm ready for this. I'm not with this like
my God,
9 to
that's so
5
stupid.
stuff. You know, like I'm so serious, man. Blah 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 blah." And it's just like
That's some clown shit.
exactly, man. It's just. Not everybody can come up here and rap, man. It's just
Was he being serious too?
He was
Meek
being
Mill
serious.
Really signed him?
no. Meek Mill did not sign him.
Oh,
He was asking Meek Mill to sign him.
Oh, okay.
Like the video was like to like shout out Meek Mill.
Oh my gosh.
Mm.
I feel like the fact that he made the news was like even a big day for this guy.
I'm sure it
Like,
was, dude, because like it made like national news. Like it was on like radio shows. Like the only reason like I know about it, I saw it on like YouTube, and then I heard it mentioned on the Breakfast Club. Because like I listen to like they're like a podcast sometimes, and they mentioned it, and I was just like,
Yeah, that's some straight
fucking
clown
hell, man! Like what are people doing?
shit. I don't know. They're bored.
Okay, but moving on. A very big question I have for you. So there is this music term called the 5-year run. Basically just like what you plan to do, like step by step, like within like 5 years, and you know how you're planning to like change the game, like what you're going to be doing. And I wanted to ask you, have you started your 5-year run? If you have, where are you on that run? And you know, like what do you see for yourself in the future?
Oh man, this is some serious questions. Feels like an interview.
Here.
Job interview. 5-year run. The next 5 years, pretty much see myself living in Atlanta
Atlanta?
with millionaires and shit.
Oh, word.
There you go.
Yeah, one of
Hi.
my homies, S Chess. We were networking together, working together. We started to intern at Q Studios in Washington D.C. And he just left D.C. and moved down to Atlanta. And I just feel like that's even a bigger opportunity for the whole team. You know, he's connected with Chris Henderson, who did the "Blame It on the Alcohol" song. Blame it on the alcohol.
Oh,
Okay.
that one. Okay.
And Dallas Austin, you know, who worked with TLC from the 90s and, you know, other relevant artists from today. So Atlanta is like the Hollywood of hip hop, I feel like. Yeah, and it's so easy to network and, you know, meet big celebrities out there like it's nothing.
Yeah. I mean, like, I know for a fact, depending on, like, what studio you go to, like, you know, you might see, like, fucking, like, 6, 7 plus, like, you know, like, up-and-coming popping, like, rappers. And, you know, like, they're always, like, working together, you know, just based on, like, who you see, you run into, like, hey, blah, 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 I'm fucking with your shit, you know, like, hey, check my
Right.
stuff out, come to my studio sometime, whatever it might be. So I definitely hear you, and, like, that's music connections, you know?
Exactly, and I feel like Atlanta has more Southern hospitality. Like the Southern hospitality thing is real.
Yeah.
You know, compared to when I was living in New York, I felt like everyone had this attitude of, oh, I had to get it myself, so
Yeah.
you have to get it yourself too. You know, there's no sharing. I had to work hard and make my bag. You got to do the same thing for yourself. I feel like a lot of New Yorkers had that type of mindset. I mean, I could be wrong, but
Yeah.
from my experience of living there for 2 years, it just seemed like a rat race of everyone trying to do it for themselves.
Mhm.
Whereas Atlanta, people are more open to working with you and, connecting with you.
Yeah.
So that's one of the main reasons I want to move down there. I don't know. It's hard to really predict the future.
Mhm.
Who knows? That we could have another government shutdown. I don't know what the music scene will be like in another 5 years. But I'm just trying to stay optimistic
Mhm.
and, focus on what I have going on right now and the people I'm working with now
Yeah.
and seeing that grow and expand.
Yeah.
And hopefully dropping multiple tapes by by 5 years.
Okay. All right, I can dig it. So mostly focusing on growth, expanding your web, getting your contacts in line.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then I can fuck with it. It's just saying like me and Cooper say really often is it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
getting yourself connected out there, so important.
Exactly.
But I guess as far as getting connected, talking to people goes, major thing that comes up a lot is the people that are around you, and whether or not they're supporting you. How do you manage? How should I put this?
Your circle, you could say.
Yes, yeah. Like how do you manage people in your circle putting you down or saying music isn't the way, blah blah blah. You're not gonna make any money. This is
Oh man, I hear that all the
bad
time
idea, blah blah.
from family members. I hear that from my dad just about every time I talk to him. I just got to know myself and my own worth
Yeah,
and not let them bring me down. Just like I said, stay optimistic. Just shut out all the haters and all the criticism and just keep doing what works for me.
yeah. I hear you. I mean, cause it's your life at the end of the day. Nobody can tell you how to live it. And you're. I feel like you can't find true happiness if you're not working for it yourself.
And no matter what you do, there's always going to be people, telling you you're going to fail or telling you to do something else.
Mhm.
So.
Yeah, that just comes with the territory.
Yeah,
I feel
of
like
course.
so.
I mean,
It's
but
just about
isn't that
shaking
so
off.
whack though? Cause
Yeah.
I've heard this story a million times. Basement rapper, blah 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 blah. Got a hit song, got a few hit songs, got signed, now making multi-millions, and now their family wants to fuck with them.
Yeah.
But it's just
I know you could do it all along.
exactly dude, that stuff is so whack to me because it's why I hate people who are supportive at the finish line. As compared to when you were preparing for that marathon. You know what I say?
It's the story of a little red hen. No, go ahead.
And I don't know what that is. You want to elaborate?
Oh man, it's a children's story about this hen that has to bake some bread, I believe.
Yeah.
And the hen asks all the other animals, the cow, the chicken, the pig, who wants to help me pretty much make the bread, and they all ignored her. And finally, when the hen made the bread, she said, "Now who wants to come eat the bread?" And then all the animals wanted to come eat, and she's like, "Fuck that, y'all ain't eating this shit."
Yeah, exactly, man. That shit is so whack to me.
Yeah.
Just keep it 100,
Exactly.
But that's fortunately not the world we live in.
Yeah, that's just part of the game. You got to know your own self-worth and just keep doing what works for you and ignore people that try to shut you down with their criticism.
Of course, man. Because like I said, it's you at the end of the day. Do what you want to do. But moving on though, do you have any fun projects that you're working on that are going to be coming out in the future? Any new interesting people you're working with that you're excited about?
Yes, I do. I have an album. I don't want to say the name because someone might steal the name of my album. and I don't want to say when it's gonna release yet because it's still in the oven, and I just don't want to give a time frame on it.
Yeah, not trying to jinx it.
Yeah, I don't want to force a date for it to come out because it's just gonna come out when it's ready.
Dog, look.
The bread's in
Bro,
the oven. And
Yeah.
we'll enjoy it when it comes out.
Look at Kanye, look at fucking Playboy Cardi, look at all these people. They say they'll drop this day and they don't drop for 2 years. Like
Yeah,
I feel like drop dates don't even matter anymore.
It's like artificial deadlines.
Exactly.
yeah. So, but the artist that's on it, I got multiple dope artists. I got Rome Streets, who just got signed to Griselda Records.
Word?
Yeah, he's gonna be on it. Mussolini.
Okay.
My boy Young D, Young Noah, Rich Garvey, Muja Messiah. Muja Messiah is a pretty dope artist from Twin Cities, from Minneapolis. Who else? Just a bunch of people, man. Prophet, which is one of my homies on Moose's team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of pretty dope artists on there.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that tape. And they say you got your whole life to make your first album, so here it goes.
Trying to make
I'm
it
giving
good,
them
of course.
27 years worth of my life.
There you go.
Oh man, dude, that must be so exciting though.
Oh yeah, I just got to figure out a way to promote it right and get the right PR guy involved. And I feel like that'll pretty much set me straight. I don't want to just drop it and it's out and no one discovers it. I want to have a strategic marketing strategy.
Yeah.
How to push it out and get it on multiple different websites. With the help of a PR, which costs money, but I'll do whatever it takes. I got to do.
Well, look, here's another thing. What's your team look like? Because like I know like you're independent, but like do you work with like any other people to like put out the stuff that you do, that just like help like supporting whatever like process of like the music you're in.
My team, yeah, I'm messing with Rich Garvey, my boy Abby. I met them at the studio, Profile Studio.
What do they do for you?
They let me record at the studio, and they shoot videos as well. So yeah, we have a few videos just tucked in right now. I mean, as far as a team, I'm kind of by myself for the most part. But I come together with these guys when it's necessary to do work, like shoot videos and record. Yeah, I guess that's all I really can say.
I mean, like, it's nothing to be ashamed about. Like, this is the independent game, of course. Like, people are like lucky to have teams, but like, obviously, it comes with like time and like building the proper one with the right people on it.
Right.
Because like I've definitely experienced this in the past as far as like trying to like put together a team, and like one by one it all falls down because like either everyone's not on the same page or like just not working towards like the same mutual goal.
Yeah, I've dealt with people like that in the past, even today that I'm still trying to work with. I don't want to point out any names, but I realize, hey, if you're not as serious and hungry as me, then it's like, all right, it's cool. We can work. We can put out some dope music, but your song's only gonna go as far as you push it.
Yeah.
I don't have all my eggs in one basket. I'm working with many different artists.
Of course.
And many different people. So yeah, I mean, who's ever serious and hungry about it will step up to the plate and push themselves and not just expect to blow up overnight and have that one hit overnight. It takes time. Everything in this universe takes time. When you look at a tree growing, the seed is planted in the soil, then it takes time to sprout and eventually time for the tree to grow. It's a process of making it in the music game and getting exposure.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah. Yep. So I'm just doing what I got to do to focus on my music. I'm focused on my tape, and I'm working with the people that I work with. And I'm in control of what I project out there as far as the music. I'm in control of what I'm focusing on, what I'm working on. Other people that I've worked with, You know, they may have the same drive or may not. So we'll just see in the future who weaves out and who's still hanging in there. That's how I see it.
Of course. Oh, man. Well, based off of that, do you have like any game to spit for like any like young kids in the game trying to like find their way up? Anyone like starting and producing, rapping, whatever it may be, from somewhat of a veteran yourself?
Advice to give them to upcoming producers, basically, and rappers.
Yeah.
Know your worth, definitely.
Of course.
Know your worth and how good your music is. Have a strong team supporting you. That's definitely important. And just have fun with it. You know, it's a journey. Have fun. You know, just learn and grow as you make mistakes. Try to get out your city, get into a bigger target market and find your target audience. And just keep putting out dope content on the internet. You know, there's so many endless resources with the internet, you know, all these streaming services and YouTube. Just you know, stay consistent and utilize those services.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Consistency is key.
Yep.
You know, stay. If you're not consistent, people are gonna forget about you.
Right.
You know, you're not relevant anymore. Like, and in like this like fast-paced world we live in, the moment you stop is the moment you die.
Yeah, for real. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, Cooper, you've been like pretty quiet this entire time.
No,
you don't got any?
I've been listening.
Cooper.
It's
Because I know you have some questions to ask, like considering you are a musician yourself.
Well,
So,
there has been one question that's kind of been on my mind. It's how do you stay motivated both to just continue on your grind and to stay motivated on a day-by-day basis?
Honestly,
creating
like I
your
said,
content?
just being around an environment of hustlers, man, is what really motivates me. Shout out to Mussolini for teaching me how to hustle. You know, I didn't really have the same drive until I moved to New York, I felt like, and seeing how these guys did it and just constantly in the studio, constantly recording, constantly dropping tape after tape. I haven't even dropped my first tape yet. You know, just seeing people drop tape after tape, it's like, oh, shit. I got to catch up. You know, I got to start dropping tapes, but I've never done it before, so it's new to me, and I just want to do it right and promote it right. I don't want to just drop it to drop it.
I think
I think that's what motivates me.
Yeah, that's a big thing, though. I think just like having content out there and like putting content out, even though like if everything you put out is not, you know, an absolute masterpiece, like just having stuff out there, it's might be able to get you more exposure. Where it's like, I don't know, like, you know, a famous artist is gonna have thousands and thousands of paintings, but only like a few dozen or so are gonna be like the most popular and most exposed ones.
Right. So yeah, I'm promoting singles right now, videos on YouTube. That's what's kind of keeping me up to date and relevant right now, and just letting people know I'm working, I'm dropping stuff, and you know, pretty much getting my audience ready for the tape. That's pretty much my strategy right now. Just focusing on the singles until the tape is ready. I got a video tucked in with Rome Streets. Once the tape is fully ready, I'm gonna drop that video and a few other videos, and we'll see what happens from there.
Let's go.
But I think Cooper brought up a really good point though, as far as singles versus albums. Because I think we're seeing like a really big change in the landscape right now for new artists, because we as far as like consistency goes, people are seeing a lot more success with like, you know, dropping consistent singles. You'll see people like I guess I don't want to say SoundCloud specifically, but just like newer artists dropping, you know, just like a single like every week, every month, whatever it might be, you know, like gaining attention over time, just because putting out an album or just like a big like project like that it's hard to like bring attention to it, because you haven't like built that like that initial like, you know, buzz,
Right.
and you know, it's hard to like you were like mentioning earlier, like bring attention to it, like, you know, say, hey, as like a consumer, why should I like listen to this like big project when like I don't even know who you are.
Right, exactly. So the singles for me are appetizers, which just
Yeah.
gets them ready for the full course meal.
Of course,
If they like
100%.
the appetizers, they're gonna be hungry for the meal.
Mm.
You know.
Facts.
So that's as simple as it boils down to.
Okay, okay. I have a few more questions.
Sure.
One really big thing, since we were talking about it earlier, as far as like pricing goes, what do you eventually want to be charging, like, and like I know that's like that might be like a super abstract like question because you could say like from 10 years from now I'm gonna be charging like 50,000 just like Hit Boy, but like just like aspirational wise, like where do you want to like be in a little bit?
Be nice to charge cats 5 to 10 G's for a
5 to
beat
10 G's.
if they're willing to pay for it, and their management backs them up on that.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like that's like more than possible to do, but it's getting connected into like the right camps, because like when you're hitting like the 5K like range, you're selling beats to like new signees of like a medium class record label.
Right.
So like I'm trying to like think of like a good example. I don't know. I can't think of anyone like off the top of my head, but just like basically the only people who are gonna have money for like that are like people who have album money to spend from a label, and like
You're not gonna
how
have to think twice about it.
yeah, exactly.
I just feel like it's a matter of just getting my name out there with my branding, and these people will find me eventually. You
Well,
know,
it seems
the
like you're
bees go
already
to the
connected.
flowers.
It seems like you're already connected though, because like you're working with people that have a name for themselves, are building themselves up. Like you said, you're working with somebody that's like new signee to Griselda,
Right.
like and he's on your tape that you're going to be dropping eventually.
Right.
I feel like that's an in. Like if like you showed that guy, like remind me his name again. I forgot.
Rome Streets.
Rome Streets. I feel like you show him some stuff, like, he's rocking through stuff. You maybe sell him a beat for $1,000. Someone hears that, like, and finds out, oh, yo, this beat is crazy. Rome Streets, where you get this from? They say, hey, OMZ. They hit you up, like, and it's, like I said earlier, it's really hard to get to that level even. Most people don't get to that level. I feel like you are so close to, like, the cusp of like getting into like that upper tier.
Yeah, I feel like I'm close to breaking through too. I just gotta drop this tape, promote it right, get the right exposure, and then I feel like serious buyers with bigger profiles, bigger names will eventually come and talk business.
Of course.
So,
well, how you feeling about the Minnesota scene?
I like it out here. It has its pros and cons.
Yeah.
So one, there is a scene, it does exist, and the people are supportive. The artists, the producers, whoever, your friends, they'll come show up at your shows. From my experience, not my shows, but other guys that kick it with that do music.
Yeah.
People will come and support and either buy your tape or buy your merchandise and show up. I feel like that's half the step, and it seems like there's a bunch of showcases out here in the Twin Cities, mostly Minneapolis. I don't really know too much about St. Paul. But, Prince is from out here, so there has to be something going on.
I mean, dude, like Princes are like crown jewel. And like the really whack thing to me is like it's just him. And like I know there's like a few like
Yeah, people would just ride him so hard.
I know, like it's like we have like I know there's a few like other like minor musicians from Minnesota.
Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan, yes, like
we're talking more about the
Yeah.
or like I don't know.
Even like as far as like modern music goes, like like pop, hip hop, R&B, whatever it may be, like Minnesota is like not hot for a lot of stuff. Like,
Seems like Chicago has more of the spotlight.
yeah, which
the
is like
music scene.
so whack. Like damn, like, do more people have to die here for our music to get better?
It's starting to look that way.
Yeah, I mean,
Honestly.
Chicago's such a bigger city too, and I'm guessing more studios, more whatever is out there. I don't know. I don't have the answer for why the
no one
scene is the
does.
way it is, but shoot, I hope to catch some spotlight out here.
Of course. I mean, it's really wild to me considering like Minnesota is like one of like the biggest places in the country for like art.
Yeah, it's definitely a very artsy city. A lot of graffiti and stuff like that.
Taking a call.
31 minutes. Let's see, where are we at the podcast?
About to wrap it up.
Oh, you might make it.
Our camera died.
Oh, did it actually?
About 20 minutes ago.
It died 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So
That's
it's only
tough.
going to be partially on YouTube. It looks
Oh well.
like.
Okay. Well,
That's
we'll see
fine.
you when we see you. Peace out. So sorry for that interruption.
No, you're good.
One of our hosts was giving us a call. He just finished his job.
So I want to hear more of the cons about the Minnesota music scene. I feel like we heard a few pros.
Cons. It's a small scene.
So it's just like,
It seems kind of small. There's not really too many artists that I can think of that is on the mainstream level that came from Minnesota other than Prince.
So like you'll be able to make connections in Minnesota, but those connections aren't necessarily going to lead to greater opportunities.
I'm not necessarily saying that. I'm making connections, and I don't know where it could go.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just doesn't seem like the scene is really that saturated, which is a good thing to me
Yeah.
because you can
Opportunity.
stand out more.
Yeah. No, you're definitely right about that. Like, that might be a major plus here.
Yeah.
Because if you are really hot, you know what you're doing. Like, you can make a buzz. And like bring something to the city. Like get people coming out of the woodworks for you. But like just like you said, on the flip side, there ain't a lot of cats out here.
Yeah, that's why
Checking out
eventually
stuff.
I got to move to Atlanta, and just keep stacking my money and keep working with the connections that I have out here and keep building the buzz out here. But eventually, I want to carry that down to the A.
All right. I'm not.
I like Minnesota though. The people seem friendly, and
Minnesota,
supportive.
nice.
Yeah, people seem supportive, so that's always a plus. When I was living in the DMV in Northern Virginia, I felt like it was the opposite. Like a lot of haters out there, a lot of crabs in the bucket.
Yeah.
They're
You
just
know,
like,
trying to
wow,
pull
you're
you down.
trying to prop yourself up and become something, and
Yeah, and I'm gonna hate you for it.
Yeah.
Especially in DC, you have a lot of that hate going on out there, which is the
Yeah. You think it's jealousy?
city.
I feel like people they'll just see you as a threat or something like that. They see someone else hustling and trying to make something of themselves.
Either that, or they just see it as a joke. Like, oh, you're just another upcoming producer. Like so
Yeah.
many other producers haven't made it. What makes you think you're gonna make it? It's almost that kind of thing. I feel like. So here, I don't feel that in this environment out here.
Well, I think that's because we have so many like young people trying to do something, because like I mentioned earlier, like Minnesota is like one of the biggest places in the country for art. We like have the biggest federal funding for arts in the country as well. Like art's really major here, film is really major here. There's always people doing stuff. So creatively, there's always like people like doing something, being active with it, and willing to like whether it be helping or supporting. There's always people out here for that.
I definitely feel that out here.
But it's just not super crazy on the music part, which is just like like I said, I just don't get it.
Yeah, Chicago has most of it. Most of the spotlight. I'm gonna use the restroom real quick if that's cool with y'all.
Go for it.
Whew. The water's getting
Yeah.
Running through you.
Yeah, it's going back to me.
We're kind of
I like
winding
this
down a
interview,
little bit.
Huh?
We're kind of winding down a little bit.
Yeah.
Or
We're at an hour.
Check my phone. Damn, so the camera died, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
Was the battery not full?
Was that 100%?
Because I know some some of the batteries aren't the best, and some batteries are better than others. So that's probably just it. Which it can't be helped. We just it's just an avenue that we have to find a way to get around eventually.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's getting chillier here in the old MN.
Oh yeah.
Change of the seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, one of these weeks we'll have another destination podcast coming up.
I hope so.
Hoping to come at you guys, viewers, whoever you are, from a warmer destination.
That would be ideal.
California would be awesome. A little more Florida action. Bring it back to Florida.
Apparently, we went at the wrong time of year. I was like
To go to Florida? Really?
I was working and I had to take an Uber to go do something, and I was talking to the Uber driver and he was saying he's he has a vacation house in Florida, and I was telling him about my trip. He was pretty bad idea to go to Florida in the summer. It's always humid and sweaty there. If you want to enjoy it, you should go during the fall, winter time.
But I mean, you didn't know that you went at the wrong time until someone told you. So did you really go at the wrong time?
I did because it felt like a fucking sweaty old man. It was grasping me at all times. Whenever I went outside,
God.
It was not nice.
Yeah, Florida's just like the sweaty crotch of the country.
Yeah, that's not a bad way of describing it.
The hanging dong.
Yeah, with a lot of tattoos, piercings, and drugs.
A lot of cocaine. I met this guy from Miami when I worked in Alaska. He was the chef.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, he was a character. His name was Jorge. Don't remember his last name, but
Yeah.
Cuban immigrant, came to Miami in the 80s, did cocaine first when he was 12 years old. Claims to just have been in with the Colombian drug ring and everything, which a guy who is talking about it, is probably not too high up, if anything, because they're not gonna tell you anything.
Of course.
If you're a blabbermouth like him, but boy was he a character. But grew up in Miami in the 80s, selling dope. I don't know what but he must have been a crackhead or a meth head or something, because he had about 5 teeth left.
Well, as far as selling cocaine and crack and all that goes, I don't doubt it, because it was the fucking 80s, and most of the people making money, or dirty money I should say, in Florida were selling cocaine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, this guy, he just had the craziest stories. He said he got paid by some dudes. He got paid $400, $500 to just let these dudes shoot him with a paintball gun. And I'm you must, you're either on the internet somewhere, or you're on a Jackass clip or something.
It's just a group of fucking why? I mean, how bad do paintballs hurt?
Dude, have you? It's imagine a slingshot shooting a grape at you. That's what it would feel like. It's compressed gas pushing a plastic ball full of paint at you. You'll get a purple welt from it. So yeah, paintballs hurt. It's
so probably not worth $500.
No. And then some people, when they're paintballing, they'll actually freeze the paintballs before they go and play paintball.
Why would you do that?
Because they want to cause more harm to people.
Yo, some people are not okay.
Some people are really not okay.
Why would
There's a
you-
whole world of people out there that are not okay, Teddy.
You're-
We know this.
Fucking hell, though. Why, like, freezing them ahead of time so you can cause extra pain to people?
Yeah. If you are that person, please thaw your paintballs before you go out and shoot people with them.
Get help.
Get help, too. Get help.
Get help.
But yeah, Jorge. Oh my god, that dude. So he's the chef,
Yeah.
and he'd always be on break. You could never find him.
You'll have to see it.
You'd know where he was back in his tent because you just hear him coughing after taking a dab.
You'll have to see it.
Yeah. Oh my god, this guy. So, and then he's always asking, "Oh, am I gonna get hired back?" And it's like, man, if you have to ask that question, it's probably not looking good.
Mhm.
Like, if you know you're doing a shit job, but you're just asking for the sake of asking that because you want to like go back and do
Mhm.
something again.
Why do they hire him to begin with? Because, like, I assume he's been there multiple
He
years.
was actually no. This was his first year. He was
Oh.
hired off of a recommendation, actually, and my boss in Alaska, he went when he was checking the references for Jorge. One of the people said, "Oh, this trip would be so good for him," and my boss was like, "Okay, yeah, but is he gonna be good for us? Like, yeah, like the trip will be good for him, but like, is it gonna be good for us?"
That says a lot.
Yep.
Oh, man. And they still hired him?
Yeah.
Is there, like, not an interview process?
I got interviewed over the phone a
Mhm.
couple times, but I think it's based mainly off recommendations. So like my uncle recommended me to the job in Alaska, and like my uncle is childhood friends with this guy,
Yeah.
so it's not like my uncle's gonna screw over his best friend
Yeah.
from his childhood.
Sure. You know, I'm sure, like, I think the general understanding is you're not going to recommend someone who's a dickhead.
Yeah. Well, somehow Jorge,
He made it through the
dickhead
cracks.
Jorge got recommended. And, yeah.
Hey, man, he's living his life.
Yep.
You know, so what if he's a crackhead?
Yeah.
Whoa, what did I walk into?
Oh, I was just talking about this guy that I worked, or he was a chef at this job that I worked at, and he was a real nutcase. He had like 5 teeth, and he claimed of growing up, or he says he grew up in Miami in the 80s and was like, you know, connected with the Colombian drug cartel and whatever. But
That's how Griselda got their name from this woman down there in Miami that was like really pushing drugs in
Really?
the 80s, I think.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Griselda. It's a Spanish name.
I see. Wow, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. So we still going on with this interview?
I mean, we have like an end segment that we do.
Okay.
I like personally, I can't think of like anything else to ask right now. Cooper, you got anything?
I mean, no, I think we can just chat. Like, we don't need to interrogate you anymore.
Like I say, it's not an interview.
No, it's fine.
It's a conversation.
When you were saying like, "Oh, what's your 5-year plan?" I'm like, "All right, David, what's your 5-year plan?" Like, let's hear it.
You want to hear my 5-year plan?
Because I know I don't got a 5-year plan.
Okay, well, I bet I'll break it down for you. So my 5-year plan. First year, obviously, based on what I'm doing right now, I'm working in film, getting different jobs, working for like different companies, basically as a productions assistant.
Laying the foundation.
Exactly. For those of you who don't know what a production assistant is, basically it's just like a free hand that kind of like runs around like a film set, just like fulfilling like whatever is needed. You know, so whether that is, you know, setting up like lighting or like getting equipment from somewhere, changing lenses, whatever it might be, getting that done.
Production assistant.
Exactly.
And that's your first year.
Exactly.
Second year.
Walk
us
Come on,
year
let's
by
go.
year.
Hey, yeah, look.
What's your bank account look like?
Hey, that's not far
That's what we all want to know.
We'll get to it. But anyways, like that's like the first year getting like that acclimated. While I'm doing that, I also have like my like production company, Razor Visions, which you've already had the chance to work with.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that on the interview.
We still can later. It depends, but obviously working with that, building that brand, really the whole point of like working as a production assistant is to further my own company, of course. Basically building and growing skills that I can take back to my home team and develop. So I'm basically like building connections in Minneapolis, working with people, getting like in touch with like executives. For instance, I've already made like a pretty like solid connection so far. I've worked with a assistant director slash producer. His name is Peter Maestri. He's worked on like multiple films and like music videos. Like one of his like most recent projects he worked on is do you know who Bella Porch is? She's like I'm pretty sure you should know. Like she's like the one really big like TikTok
I see her
girl.
name like on Snapchat or something, or like if I'm
Yeah.
watching, or if I'm like on Instagram, I'll
Mhm.
like see her name or like some sort of scandal, but
Yeah.
I don't like know who she
Mhm.
is or what all that stuff.
Well, anyways, she recently like went into music. She dropped like her first like pop song called like "Build a Bitch," and this is like super like viral like music video. Got like um, I want to say it broke like over 100 million. He worked on that project. He's worked on like films on Netflix and so on and so forth. But anyways, I'm like getting ahead of myself, or getting away from myself, I should say. And building connections like that, people that might be able to help me along the way as far as um, giving me whether it be the connections or the know-how to build myself up to where they might be. So that's why important connections, working with people like that, are so important to me. By second year, I probably want to be still, of course, like working in Minnesota film. At this point, I maybe want to have upgraded from working less production assistant work and going into more of either camera operating or working as like a key production assistant or like a coordinator.
So when
So
we're gonna see some of your movies on the billboards, man?
that's like 10 plus years away. Dude, movies do not come easy because and that like brings me into like another thing of success, like overall success. I feel like we see it like really often, like young people like achieving like really high levels of success, especially in this like TikTok era that
And
we're
then
like
they're
living
thrown
in.
up on a pedestal.
Exactly, and like the thing is, that's not really realistic. Most young people are not gonna like blow up and become like multimillionaires in their 20s. No matter how hard you try, unless like you were already like born into wealth,
Right.
or
Or
like
you bought Dogecoin.
you bought Dogecoin, or you hopped on, like you were really lucky and you hopped onto a trend that like was gonna
Start
blow
day
up.
trading or something.
Unless you did all those things, you're not gonna be a multimillionaire in your 20s. Like, and that's like perfectly okay. It's okay to like not reach like super high levels of like wealth and success in your 20s. Like if you even if you don't do it in your 30s, that's still okay. If you like hit it in like your 40s, like that's where a lot of these like professionals are. Like they're in their 30s, they're in their 40s, like working on like big films and projects, and like you got to take your time with these things. Um it's okay to not immediately be successful.
And like we were talking about earlier, so many people think they can just blow up in the
Mm-hmm.
music game overnight.
Exactly.
It's not real.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
Cooper, you ready
realistic.
for this? You ready for it?
I'm listening.
It takes 14 years to become an overnight success.
Yeah.
10,000 plus hours. How many
Yeah.
years would that be?
A lot. I'm not going to tell you. I don't know math.
24 times 365 is how many hours in a year.
Okay.
So take 10,000
Mm-hmm.
divided by 24 is how many days it would take. How many years divided by 365? I'm not doing that in my head, but
Exactly.
Years.
yeah,
Years.
Lots,
Yeah,
a couple
exactly.
years, lots of years.
Exactly. But yeah, you know, like, and that's like the reason why like I prefaced it that like that is because like I ultimately end up like saying that every like damn near every episode.
You might as well just. We're not even hiding it. Like I outed you last episode, so we might as well. That's gonna be our theme. But I think you've changed it. First, you were saying 10 years, and now you're
did
saying
I?
14 years. But
Same
long
idea.
time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know, it's not gonna happen overnight is the
Yep.
deal. You know, like it might look like it was overnight, but like it took you like you know multiple years to get to this point. And that's okay. You know, like success is. I don't even know. I don't know. Like preface it.
I think success kind of will tend towards the bold too.
Yeah.
You know, you have to be confident with yourself and bold.
Mhm.
You know, branding yourself too, like how you're trying to brand your new tape. You gotta really put it out there,
Right.
hype it up.
Do you think you can predict success based off your measures from the past? Like, okay, this is what I've done this year. This is what I've done the year before that.
Oh yeah.
This might be where I'll be
Oh,
next
definitely.
year.
I mean, think of like businesses forecasting their, profits for the next year. They see like they're having this much sales, so that they're like, first year and to like 5 years they're having so much sales, and then they can forecast that maybe it's going to double or
Yeah.
triple the next year, next 5 years. So I think, being an artist, you can kind of, it would be similar, a similar forecasting.
The reason why like I kind of disagree with that is just because like the industry of creativity is so fucking fickle that like even if like you know what you're doing, you've built something up in the past, something crazy could like wipe you off the map.
Yeah.
And it's just like
Pandemic.
exactly. It's like it's hard to stay like calculated, like because like I'll make like a really major example. Look at someone like Designer. You guys remember like fucking 2016 Panda.
Oh my god, yeah. Sounding just like
Yeah,
Future.
exactly.
I
And doing
honestly, I didn't know that wasn't Future for a while. For
Really?
a long time. Like,
I thought it was Future at first too.
like years. I didn't know.
Oh, it was a dude named Designer that is like I think still signed to Kanye's Good Music label. Despite the fact that this dude has not had a fucking hit in like how many fucking years? Like
Well, 2016 was Panda, so 5 years.
yeah, so like and like he built up so much hype with that song. Like people were saying like, oh, this is like Kanye's golden boy. Like he's up next, but here we are 5 years later.
So what is the process like of staying up there? Keep dropping hits. If you drop such a super dope hit, that year,
That's another
what's
thing.
stopping you from dropping another one?
I-
Promotion, like
I think it's a crippling thing though. I think it's super crippling to have a hit that's too big. Because
Or like instant success.
Yeah.
'Cause then like you're gonna be up there, and then you're
Well,
gonna be
it's-
chasing that same level of success.
Yeah. It's really hard to chase that level of success because, like, it was like kind of in part because of luck, and like you weren't actually prepared to take advantage of like the level of success that you had. And I think that was like a really big issue that he did have. And this brings me into another thing of Drake features. Drake brings like a lot of like nameless rappers into like instant fame. A specific person that I'll name is like Key Glock. He had like a song with like a Key Glock called "Look Alive."
Did you show me that one in the studio last time?
I might have. I'm not sure. Maybe. But like the song's called "Look Alive."
I think I know.
Blew up
song.
super heavy.
And he's trash, right?
Basically, yeah. Just like after that, like he couldn't find the same success. He had like momentary popularity. People were peeping him, but like he couldn't like keep up after that. Because he blew up too quick. He had a hit that was too big. Expectations were too high. and he could not beat them.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it's better to stay like consistent and have like, you know, a gradual growth to like the top as opposed to like meteoric like out of nowhere success.
Yeah.
I think that's a killer for a lot of people because it's not a lot of people that can like manage that well. Really, the only people in like recent years I've seen do it well are like as far as like current goes, Lil Nas X. You know, he had his what's the song called? Old Town Road. Yeah. He had Old Town Road. Blew up, major, super hit. You know.
And he's just been following up ever
Yeah,
since.
yeah. Like, you know, he had like an EP he dropped. He dropped like Panini. Like after that was like his next big hit. You know, doing other stuff. Obviously, he has like Industry Baby that like came out like a little while ago. That's doing super crazy numbers right now. Another person, Lil Baby got
Yeah, I remember you. Nature trip.
finally Arpan has arrived.
Let me get a sip of that Baja Blast.
But another like really major person, Lil Baby. Lil Baby had what was Lil Baby's hit song? Probably like
That's
no,
the
that's
baby.
that's yeah, that's the baby.
Oh,
Lil Baby.
fuck little baby.
Hater. Damn, I'm trying to think of it. He had some like, you know, really big like hit song with like Drake. But like he managed his success really well. Basically, my point is, very few people can actually sustain that. So, I'm not even really sure what like the like main point of this was. Just come over here.
The baby is the only baby that I need.
Was actually, you know what? Speaking of the baby, that's a wild boy right now. That
What's he
man,
doing?
huh?
What's he doing? Is he still alive? Is he in jail?
No, he's not in jail. It's just like, don't you remember? Like he was in the news recently for like saying like,
He punches
hey,
way too many people. Though,
oh,
deadass.
he does beat up a lot of people for a famous person. He probably shouldn't do that anymore. But what he was like in trouble for recently was like, you know, he was at a concert and he was like, you know, hey, if you're not gonna go into the parking lot later here and suck dick, he was like talking to men, you know, put a lighter up. If you don't got that nasty AIDS, put a lighter up. So basically, he was kind of just like, you know, saying like a lot of like, yeah, just like homophobic stuff and like, you know, like got in a lot of trouble for that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was a bit of a
Yeah, you
controversy.
definitely got to carry yourself right once you're on that level of exposure. Or else you're going to be all in TMZ
Yeah,
for the news.
I don't think he knows how famous he is.
I think he knows. He just still has the I don't give a fuck mentality.
Maybe, dude.
Yeah.
I
He,
genuinely
having
like
fun
him
with it,
for
too.
that.
Yeah.
he's gonna get him in trouble, dude. Because like you said, you're right. He beats up way too many people for a famous person. But anyways,
Well, at least we know he's still his genuine self.
I guess so,
Even if his
man.
genuine self is homophobic.
Okay. So we're gonna. I think we're like pretty good to like wrap up right now. We're
As
gonna
Arpan
move into
munches.
our final segment. So we have a segment usually at the end called Money Moves. We basically talk about like some current events based on like, you know, finance or like, you know, whatever it is, just like that may have happened in the past week or whatever it may be. So this week we're going to be talking about student debt. Because Biden's education department just wiped out $1.74 billion of student debt for 22,000 people. Yeah, 22,000 people.
Dude, where's my debt?
Where's mine?
What the hell?
Hear about that.
But the thing is,
I just paid off a loan. What the fuck?
it's it doesn't even count for like the like standard person. This is only for government employees.
Oh, my
Only
gosh.
like government employees are like getting it paid
Only
off.
the government
There's always
dogs
a
get
catch to
it.
shit like that.
And there's also like a caveat on it. You can only get it if you've already made 120 payments so far. which is like I feel like also kind of like whack because like I feel like you could probably pay it off in 120 payments.
Yeah. Monthly
If you do
payment.
$50 a payment.
Exactly,
You
like
made
it.
120
lot.
payments already. Like, you're doing something wrong.
Hey man, like dude, there are definitely plenty of people who are like in their fucking like 50s, 60s still paying like their student debt. So like more than possible. But does this mean anything considering like America has like 1.73 trillion dollars in student debt? Like I feel like this is like a super like
Sounds
just
like
small
a
drop
in
in
the bucket.
bucket.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
As they say, raindrops to create the ocean or some bullshit. Like
Ripples
that.
in the ocean. Yeah.
Honestly, that's one of the reasons why I never went to college. Man. I was kind of afraid of that 10 to 20 year debt.
yeah, man, dude, like
That's why I dropped out of college.
student debt is like really like crippling once you leave school because like especially if like you decide to go into a field that like you won't necessarily make a lot of like quick money. You end up like having to like pay this debt for like however many years. You can't really enjoy yourself. And school is only getting like more and more expensive based off of like inflation, random things that they get like added. It's just
Interest. all that
yeah,
You know,
it's
I
ridiculous.
saw this interesting post the other day that said banks will be so quick to give you like a $50,000 loan for your education, but they'll like deny you for a $10,000 loan for like a down payment on a car or a house or something. And that I feel like I don't know
a scam.
why do institutions give you
Because it's profitable.
so much money?
Because it's profitable. I mean, like we were just like talking about this earlier. Like motherfuckers in their like 40s, 50s, 60s still paying off their student debt. Like I literally remember Obama and like Michelle were also like talking about how like I think I forget how old they were at this point, but like they were basically like maybe like 40, 50s or something at this point, talking about how like they were like still actually also paying for their student debt. And I think this is like maybe like only like a few years into like Obama's like term. But I remember him like mentioning this, and that's like so wild to me. Like the former president of the United States still had student debt.
Let me ask you a question. What do you think about people like myself, that did not decide to go to college, or my man here that dropped out? How do you think society, like, profiles people like that as far as their success and their future success? And, what is the alternative way of survival if you don't go to college and to be successful?
I think there's like two sides to this, which there wasn't before. Like go back like a few decades, and one, college wasn't that expensive. Two, you didn't necessarily need to go to college to get a skilled job that's like gonna buy you a house. So like stuff like that didn't matter then, but like come to today where it's a bit different if you want to like make a proper living, I guess. And even that is like difficult with a degree. You have to go to school. They say like, you have to go to school, get an education, get a degree.
Whether that school
know.
be, like a trade school
Yeah.
or
It's not,
college.
trade schools aren't even promoted though. It's like always like the 4 year.
And are you an advocate for people to go to school and get their degree?
The thing is like I'm an advocate for doing what makes you happy. Like the thing is like what if you can like if you have a plan that you think you can like reasonably do it. If you think like school is like the route for how you want to achieve something, 100% do it. But at the same time, if you know that you're just going to be like wasting time at school, you don't have like a specific like field that you see yourself in, or there's like something else that you're doing that you can't really get in school, then don't go to school. There are like so many avenues for like learning.
But you gotta know what works for you.
Exactly. And the thing is like I don't support not having a plan. I don't support like just not going to school and like, getting a fucking job at McDonald's or like Aces Hardware for like 10 plus years. I don't support that. You're a fucking loser if you do that. What I do support is people who like have an idea, know what they want to do, and like have a plan for like achieving that. So like, whether it be like music, whether it be art, whether it be film, whatever it is, you have to
Like grow in that
exactly
field.
exactly. You have to like build out that avenues because even though like it's like creativity is a very like saturated like market, it's still more than possible to make a living even if you're not like wildly popular.
Absolutely.
And if you can do that, like bravo. It's like everyone can't do it, but have a plan for what you're gonna do and follow it through.
Be consistent.
Consistency is key every single time. Because like I said, I don't support bums who still live at their mom's house in their 30s. No can do.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah.
Well said.
That's my answer.
Yeah, some more time, man.
You guys have
well,
anything
make
to add?
college. No one should ever go to college.
Why'd you drop out?
I got bored.
Cap, you got depressed.
I got depressed and bored. Dangerous combination, I tell you.
Here, you want to get a bit closer?
Yeah. Nah, I got depressed. I got bored.
What were you majoring in, if you don't mind me asking?
Architecture.
Okay.
It wasn't that like I lost interest in it. I actually like still loved it. I just lost confidence in most of my professors because like COVID hit and like these fuckers couldn't even like start a Zoom call. And I was like, damn, I'm learning from these people. Nah. So yeah, that was a big factor in it, and I just wanted to. And I still wasn't like it's kind of a weird thing that like people put you in, right? Like you're 18, people are like, yeah, choose a career path, you're gonna die doing that thing.
You're
like,
I hate that. I hate that so much because like our society like expects, like, just like you said, 18-year-olds to know what the fuck they want to do
Yeah, till they
at
die.
18. Yeah, till they die.
Yeah.
Like
What do you want to be when you grow up?
exactly, bro.
That's
Like
just
because
what
like
we're
most high school seniors are not prepared to answer that question. They'd like because like they'll end up like either like going based off of like what their parents said they should do, what their parents do, or
Plus, they genuinely don't have the exposure to more than like 3 or 4 jobs.
yeah.
Because like you have the 2 jobs that your parents are working,
Uh-huh.
and if they're the same one, you're fucked. Because you're gonna probably end up doing that.
Yeah. Because like there's not a
and
lot of
then,
exposure to that in
there's,
like public
y-
school.
Your best friend's mom, like has a job. And I was like, oh, yeah, cool job.
Uh-huh.
That's about it.
Yeah.
I feel like African parents, Indian, Middle Eastern, Asians, a
Yeah.
lot of time like want their kids to either be like a doctor,
Yeah.
a lawyer,
The
something
holy-
with a high profession.
Yeah,
and
the
if
holy
you're not
trio.
that, they
you know,
look at
it's
you like
lawyer,
you're a
doctor,
loser.
or engineer.
Exactly, and if you don't
Well-
do that, you're a loser.
A lot of that has to do with like just like they're like get it out the gutter like mentality as far as like I came to this country with like 2 cents in my pocket and made a life. Now you have to level up and do something super bigger than I did.
Right.
And like it's like I admire that sentiment, but like if you bring your child to like this like place, expecting them you want them to have like a better life, like more room for like possibility, you should let them take advantage of that possibility, and do what they want. But like it's hard to even like say that because like they the whole idea is like come to this country, okay, you have the opportunity to like do something like and that's like go into like the medical field and make like I don't know like 100-something K a year.
Yeah.
But like I think it's because like it's it's a realistic path. But even I feel like becoming a doctor is actually not even that realistic. You know how hard it is to be a doctor?
Dude, my brother literally stopped studying like 8 years ago, and this dude is like 30, going 35, something like that.
Trying to be a doctor?
He is a doctor now,
Oh, yes?
but like he didn't have like his proper like because I feel like doctors are always learning, right? Like,
It's literally called practicing medicine.
yeah, because like he wasn't out of like the learning phase, because like there's learning and then there's like the progressing of technology, right? He wasn't out of the learning phase until like 5-6 years ago. That's crazy. And like this dude like graduated high school when I was still like 5.
It's a lot of study.
Yeah, dude. Like that's what I mean. Like, I feel like it's like more realistic to do something else and make more money than to be a doctor.
I think in a lot of times doctors will be in debt too because they take on so much debt. Just to
dude,
become
medical
a
school,
doctor.
like they'll like there are so many doctors that are like in like upwards of like 100K in like student debt.
And then they're kind of just like, I don't want to say slaves, but they're like in kind of service to the hospital. They're like indebted to the hospital or wherever they're working. Like they have to just keep doing that. They don't have any other options but to just keep being a doctor.
Yeah, otherwise you can't pay off that debt. Because like so a previous guest we had, a friend of mine, Christian, he was like on the route to like become a doctor, but like realized how much work and how much time it takes away from you. So he decided, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to become either a nurse practitioner, or there was like another like medical field that he was like thinking about. So like just like goes to show you, being a doctor is not that easy.
Yeah. It's overrated.
So yeah, immigrant parents, stop telling your kids to be doctors. Do you want them to be failures?
And then you're gonna disappoint yourself.
Be in debt.
Think about
Hey,
that.
we need doctors though.
We do. But they should want to be doctors.
Right. I mean, they're essential workers on the front line.
Facts.
Literally, Sergey, a previous guest that we had, one of my friends, is like the prime example of this. Like, immigrant parents, and like mom's a nurse, and he's just trying to be a doctor.
But did he want to?
Yeah, to an extent, I think he's
Okay.
like he wants to just be that person who helps other people.
Okay. So like the will to help is there.
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay.
Fun fact that I just found out: there is a city named Delhi in New York State.
Okay.
Delhi, New York.
Yeah.
There's also a Buffalo, New York.
No,
There's
but, like,
also a Buffalo, Minnesota.
There is a Buffalo,
Oh, really?
Minnesota. I've driven past it.
there are multiple buffaloes in Minnesota.
There's also a
Are there multiple
Rochester,
buffaloes?
Minnesota, and New York.
Talking about literal buffaloes or the city buffalo?
Deadass, like literal buffaloes.
Okay, well, this has been the Live and Learn podcast. Thank you, OMZ, for coming chatting with us for a little bit. It is
Pleasure, guys.
absolutely,
We
man.
touched on some pretty deep subjects.
Yeah.
Hey, man, look, it's we strive to have interesting, nuanced conversations here. Some you might not hear somewhere else. That's what we're going for. So I mean, hey, I hope you had fun, because I know we definitely did.
I did. You took me out of my comfort zone a little bit with asking me my 5-year plan and how come my relationship was rocky with Mussolini. But hey, I mean, artist that I worked with in New York.
Hey, man,
Not
look,
really
you
in great terms anymore. But he asked me that, and I had to answer. So
transparency. Look,
The spot.
I have transparency. What do you want from me, man? I gotta.
We'll
Hey, that's
gotta get
good
in
practice though for like other interviews, man.
and we'll be waiting on those new singles and that new tape coming
Oh,
out.
absolutely.
To be determined.
Oh yeah, I'll let you guys definitely know when it drops.
Fire,
So,
okay.
when will the interview be on YouTube?
3 weeks from now.
Okay.
Yeah, we shoot out 3 weeks ahead. So yeah, just 3 weeks
So
from now.
will we get 10, 20 minutes of time recorded?
Nah, it should be more than that. Probably about like 40 minutes or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but just to close it out though, OMZ, do you wanna plug anything before you head out? Shout anything out?
Shout out to all the hustlers, man, who's trying to make this dream come true. From the mud, from the dirt, that came from nothing. I'm not saying I was all that poor. I didn't come from shit, I wasn't rich or poor, kind of lower middle class. But, shout out to everyone trying to make their dreams come true. Not in just the music profession, but any field, that try to go against going to a 4-year school, having that 4-year program and, taking a risk. So
Facts.
shout out to all the risk takers.
Any plugs?
Any
I
plugs?
plug you instant.
Yeah,
You're my plug. Thank you, plug, for bringing me here.
Most stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to shout the IG out or anything? Like, find me on like Spotify, here.
Are we still
Just
recording?
put it on
Oh,
the,
shit. I thought we weren't recording. Yeah, I mean, if y'all want to find me, man, follow me on Instagram, OMZ Eternal, OMZ, the word eternal, and go on my YouTube page and you can see a lot of my latest work. Yep.
All right. Okay. I repeat, this has been the Live and Learn podcast. We are done for today. We will see you guys next week. Bye.